Hey everybody, it's Emily and Katie coming to you from WP Fusion. We're going to be talking about building a lead magnet step by step in this video. We're going to go through what we set up last time was a funnel where we were delivering a free lead magnet when people opt in on our website. And now we're going to build that lead magnet. But first, how are you doing, Katie?
I'm pretty swell. Thanks for asking, Emily. I'm super excited to learn more about lead magnets, how we utilize them to gain more traffic into our site and perhaps engage new clients that we wouldn't be able to without a lead magnet. And from our previous work, I know, Emily, you're kind of an expert in the lead magnet territory. So I would just say for anybody watching, anybody tuning in, this is really a cool opportunity to learn from one of the best. And yeah, let's get it started.
Thank you. So a lot of times we talk about on our website. If I pull up my screen share, this is the website we've been working on, and holding the ache is the business. This is a grief counseling business that Katie is starting, and so they're building their audience from scratch. And we are just kind of building the entirety of the business and the marketing engine and everything in this live stream series. So check out our previous videos. But what we did last time was we went into the back end. We're using Groundhog as our CRM and connecting everything with WP Fusion. But in the back end, we built a funnel in Groundhog, and then we created this Get the Free Resource page where it's a free opt-in. People can enter their name and email and get a resource. Now, we haven't created that resource. That's what we're doing today, but we linked it up. So in multiple places on our website, it promotes this free resource. And so we're actually going to build it. A lot of marketing content we see online, they talk about add your lead magnet here, add your free download here, but we're actually going to talk through step by step of how we're going to make this in Canva, because a lot of tutorials skip that. They don't really talk about how to actually build the resource that you're going to be giving out. So let's dive into it. What we are going to be creating today is 7 questions to gently hold your loss. And this is something that me and Katie came up with earlier. We used the chat GPT to come up with a good title. We chose 7 questions from their grief training content. These are our 7 questions, and we're going to use this as our title and format it into a PDF guide that people are going to be downloading. So we're using Canva in this tutorial. There are many other types of resources that you can use other than Canva. Let me go to the Canva homepage and jump in. So we have these 3 designs. For a lead magnet, we're probably going to be creating something that's like an ebook or a PDF download. I'm going to want to do a vertical format, something like a doc, but maybe just like a portrait style item. So let's do a resume portrait. This is something people could download on their phones. And when you're crafting a lead magnet, knowing whether a lot of your users are on mobile or desktop is good. I think we should format it this way because it's going to look good on a phone when you're scrolling through, but it would also look good on a desktop. If you have a desktop or computer, you can blow it up pretty large. But if you do a presentation style in like a landscape format, it might be kind of hard to consume on a mobile device. But yeah, so we have a blank canvas here. We'll probably look for a cool design. We can go through designs and figure out which one Katie likes. This is a template I just imported. What does this say? Fantasy? Is that is giving me absolutely nothing. What keywords would describe that? That's not even going to show anything. This would be. Do you have any thoughts, Katie, on what the vibe of that is?
So this one,
Yeah,
sure, like cottagecore
cottagecore.
or yeah, natural forest, something like that.
Okay, those are great keywords. Thank you. Forest. Forest is great. Did I spell forest wrong? I did.
Some good colors.
Yeah, these are a little more boring than the cool ones that we get from like this. I could also just format this manually because this one looks really cool. Do you like this aesthetic?
Sure, let's do it. Why not? We got it here.
And we can always change it later. I'm just like they don't give us cool presentation styles. Like it's all like for the presentations that they do this cool formatting.
Right. Yeah, that's true. But it's still really nice to see that you can still manipulate it and make it your own with the sources that you have on Canva. And I think really what we're going for here is just a gentle, soft lead magnet that allows someone to feel perhaps a sense of rest or relaxation once they open this. We don't want a sense of urgency. We simply want something that will help calm someone upon signing up for this magnet.
Yeah. Yes. And we'll update this later, but I'm going to put the URL in so we have credit. No, take that out. There we go.
And I think, like, as Emily had mentioned before, this is really a very soft start to something like this. In general, we see workbooks, we see, 5 to 10 pages of content that people would like to have access to that's like a free education resource. And yeah, I think we'll start out with just 2, maybe 3 pages today with these 7 questions. But you can really take it pretty far in regards to just really foundational knowledge that you may have, that folks may need and that you can help them with. You can see that Emily is just so good at framing things, really utilizing all the resources. I think this is the shapes portion of Canva. Is that right?
Yeah, I use the frames over here.
Cool. Frames. Okay, cool.
And I mean, the frame with the border is pretty cool, actually. Let's put you in that one. If I go to my uploads, drag this in here, and then move you over. I like that one. And then we can put some brand colors in here. Go to the home page. I use this, there's a lot of color pickers for Chrome that you can use. Because my color picker, it shows up. Okay, cool. The color picker is cool because we can take colors from our logo or from a website we see and get a little hex code. So let's use this color that we have, this dark color.
Perfect.
That's just black. That's just like super dark. We will use that one. And then what's another color that we have in the brand?
A plugin or an app that you have in order to identify the color?
Yeah, it's a Google Chrome extension.
What is it called? Color
It's
picker.
called Color Picker for Chrome TM.
Cool. Okay, gotcha.
And so that one, there's a lot of them. The one that I was using a lot got like banned. So now there's this new one that's much more frustrating and hard to use.
But it is cool, like, using this to stick to your brand. So if you are not sure of that exact code or if you are collaborating with a different company, you can just go on there and snag that brand voice, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yes. And this is, that looks interesting. We probably want to change that over time, but something to start with.
Totally.
And we put you there, maybe even like a half circle.
Cute.
If we move
I'm coming onto the scene. Look at me go.
Yes. And then this could actually be kind of bigger. I like that. You move this way. But yeah, so this is like our page 1. We have our 7 questions. Our 7 questions are here. This is actually the content of our lead magnet. What we want to get people to do when they're interacting with our lead magnet is move on to the next step. Now, we've already decided what we want people to do next, and we're going to talk about it in our next stream. The next step after you download this PDF resource and you fill out our questions, possibly submit us feedback on what you filled out for your questions, we are going to send you to a webinar about writing a thank you letter and goodbye letter to a loved one. That's going to be another free item in the business. So we're going to do, Chris at Lifter LMS calls this nurture pitch, and you'll see our next stream, if you look on YouTube, is I think it's delight invite. So we're going to give people 2 free resources. We're going to give them the resource we're building today and the resource we're building next time, which is a webinar resource. And WP Fusion is going to hold all of this data in our Groundhog CRM. And then we're going to format a pitch for people to book a call with us. So we're going to give them 2 free resources automatically through our funnels, and then we're going to ask them to book a call with us. Not everybody who comes to your website immediately is going to be ready to pull out their wallet and pay for your offer or sign up for a free call yet. So we want to get them on our email list, and we want to get them in our funnel so we know who they are anyway, and get them on the path at least. So 7 questions to hold your loss. So we probably want to add some description text here. I guess, let me open my GPT and we could come up with a sample description.
Perfect.
We built the WP Fusion marketing expert. So let's see, we are creating a resource. We are creating a resource for users called and then we're going to give it the 7 questions. And this is just something to accelerate our process. If you already know exactly what you want your lead magnet to look like, you don't need to go through this, but I like using the GPT to optimize what we're doing. So
and what we have done is uploaded really important HTML to our brand, the mission that we have, as well as additional teams and businesses that work with us. So it's just using all of that information to give us something at this point in time, which could save you a lot of time and maintain that sort of brand feel along the way.
Yeah, totally. So these are our 7 questions. We want a good description to hook people into reading the resource. People into reading our resource. I want the description to be 1 paragraph and not include the questions because that's what will be on page 2. Okay, let's see what it gives us. We will probably critique it like once, but you could spend more time critiquing what it gives you. So grief often leaves us feeling disoriented, tender, and unsure of what comes next. What now offers a compassionate pause, space to reflect, reconnect gently with your loss. The simple, powerful resource takes you through 7 questions to bring clarity, comfort, and meaning to sorrow when you're navigating the early days of grief. These reflections can help you grow. So, do you have any feedback for this, or are you happy with that?
I think that sounds great. There might be maybe 1 or 2 sentences, like use this as a space to write down ways in which, like use this as a resource to journal. Somehow give them the directive of how to utilize it. Perhaps we put a filler page with lines at the end so they can literally type in there or write on it if they type it out, if they print it out.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So let's add 2 more pages. So this page is where we'll add our 7 questions. Copy this box over to here, and we'll format that much nicer. We'll put our description up here. Move it there. This is our description. And then on our last page, we will have a journal for yourself. Journal yourself. And then we'll format that page, maybe with like a design for a journal. Journal. So this is cool. Can I add that as a new page? That's kind of hard. No, we're not doing that one. Journal with lines. This is. Okay, we're gonna do that. To-do list. And tape is not really our brand. Maybe. Can we customize the color? We can customize the color of the tag.
Oh, nice. Cool.
Yeah. Okay, so this is our journal page. So let's trash that one. This is now it's your turn. And we'll mess with the fonts a little bit too, but let's get our baseline established. This is not a checklist, but we'll come back. So we have our questions. Our description is ready. Let's give it some feedback and see if it can make us an even better description. Leave us disoriented, tender, what comes next, but now offers compassionate to reflect, reconnect. 7 questions to bring clarity to sorrow. Use this as a journaling companion, a quiet invitation to write, remember, and honor your healing process.
Cool.
What are you thinking about this, Katie?
I love that. Yeah. Now it feels like a tool that somebody can use.
I can't hear you all of a sudden.
Oh, no.
Can you hear me?
Hear me? I can hear you. You can't hear me? Oh, goodness. Okay.
Oh, my mouse is moving.
Can you hear me now?
I wonder if it's my
I'm here.
my audio may have stopped working. Audio. Sorry. Let me see. My sound, my Mac speakers. Are you hearing the music?
Yeah.
You're hearing the music, so this is definitely my end. I wonder if I could leave the stream and come back in.
Sure.
It was weird. I don't know what happened. I'll be right back. I'm gonna leave the stream. I should leave you in here. All
right. No problem. So in the meantime, we'll just keep talking about lead magnets and the importance of them. So like we kind of just demonstrated in less than 15 minutes, we created one. We made sure it utilizes the brand voice, it brought people in, and we utilized AI as well as Canva to really make something happen quite quickly, bring customers in as soon as possible. And Emily, can you hear me now? Doesn't look like it. Oh no. Well, we're having some technical difficulties, so you could just hang on with us while Emily figures it out. I think we're problem solving. But yeah, if you have any examples of lead magnets that you thought were really engaging, that you thought were really helpful when you were on your marketing journey, when you were developing your business, that would be really helpful to hear about. I know that for me, I really had to do some scholarly research into this topic. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to do that. We have all of these incredible tools right at our fingertips to make sure that we could build something right off the bat that immediately helps someone and allows them to connect, get on your newsletter, your blog, whatever it is that you want people to engage in. And I think, additionally, what we're hoping to go towards is offering them then either a discount or leading them towards the sales pitch line with this resource, which is really exciting. So, like Emily was saying with the nurture, engage tagline, we really are seeing the lead magnet as this potential to allow for folks to connect, gain some free education, and then really then go into the sales funnel. Let's see. Emily, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Awesome. I've just been, telling the good news about lead magnets. So just did a little brief review of our journey so far with them and kind of how easy it is to put stuff like this together, as well as the importance of them, that they really create this automatic sales funnel that's really engaging and awesome.
Yeah. I'm pulling up my screen share. My iMac is on a crutch, but I'm
sorry.
No, it's all good. I don't know why it just drops out. But let's go back in. I'm gonna log back into our website real quick, and then I can pull up my Canvas screen.
Great.
Just log in. Okay. Now we're back here. Firefox, share screen, share. Sorry, everybody, that was weird. Let's see here. Share window. So we should have the screen back up here. It's a little more zoomed out. Let's zoom in. There we go. So we were working with the GPT. I'm going to need to open that window to chat.openai.com. And then we're doing a new resource. Here it is.
And just for a little bit of context, Emily has some construction going on near their house today, so no worries. No one's trying to break down the door. There's just living in a place with other people going on.
Everything is going wrong. That's
We're problem solving together, so it makes us a good team.
true. So let's get this a little bit smaller, our description text. We've been looking at what other grief guides are doing as far as their downloaded material. And a lot of it, like Katie said, is a massive amount of information. But what we want to really create is like a worksheet where people can engage. And we're going to collect feedback on this information. Using a product like WP Fusion allows us to have a lot of user interaction, a lot of feedback coming from the user into our CRM, and then giving them more free resources so we know exactly where they're at in the user journey. A lot of these other businesses that we've been examining are giving people resources or asking them to buy courses or downloads, and then probably aren't collecting as much feedback about what they're doing, whereas we're going to have a little bit of a larger opportunity to have a pre-sales market that we're building. So grief often leaves us disoriented. So we have our description. It's in a relatively good place. We'll come back to this at the top and format the first page a little bit better. But our description is here. So now let's format our question page. 7 questions. So if we can find a format, this is kind of nice. The meeting agenda.
Yeah, that looks great. I like the little diamonds. Visually easy to organize.
The little
That's what we're going for. We want it to be as simple as possible.
Yeah. Yes. What is this thing? This is a group? This is a whole thing.
Okay.
The layers. So we have a lot of layers here. What is this? Lock positions. I want to ungroup this element so that I can work with it. Because I want this gone. I want this thing gone. That should be gone. Closing remarks. We'll add a little section at the bottom to offer people some next steps. What does this do? Delete row? Okay, that's what I wanted. And then we will have a little diamond at the bottom. So we have our 7 questions, our meeting agenda. We will format this a little bit different. We probably don't need all of these blue words at the corner. This thing is weird. Let's get a cool little header to match our brand. I could probably design something off of this. We've got our little bird. We've got our little mushrooms. We've got some fantasy elements that we could import. Do you like any of these? That's cool.
Oh yeah.
I like her.
I like how mystical my brand is becoming.
Yeah. This is good. And then maybe these 7 people here need to come this direction. That wand is probably in the way. Wonder if I could format this behind something else. That's probably relatively good. And these brief objectives are going to get out of here. We don't need any of these. We will change the color of our little grid to something more on brand. And maybe we should color picker from here. Let's color picker pick. This green color is nice.
And what I also found, sometimes when you click on the picture or the element, that you will see that there's a little color circle at the top. And if you click on it, it'll actually show you other colors in that picture or in that slide, which is pretty cool. Really enjoyed that.
Yeah, Canva has their own color picker too, and that's very, very useful if you're within Canva. Does this thing change the color? That's not what I wanted. How do I change the border color of this thing? This item I don't even know how to work with these little tables. That's okay. Let's add in our 7 questions and we can circle back to that color. So our 7 questions are, who is your loved one? Number 1. And I go to lower music volume. This music is intense as hell.
It's because we're on an epic journey and we have evil forces against us, you know.
This is like evocative of an epic journey. Let's see, let's get this up here. And I like this sizing. We're gonna have to adapt our sizing a little bit, but let's get to these ones all out of here. Who is your loved one? So do you think you could tell us a little bit about your business, Katie, and like what the ideal customer experience is going to look like if you've been through this before, or what the services that you're offering?
Sure, absolutely. So while this might not seem analogous to many WP Fusion users, I think I can try to tie it in. But the clientele that will be utilizing these services are folks who have either just encountered a death in their life or have encountered just some central aspect of grief. So I'm expecting the client to be in a rather a vulnerable place in which they are looking for answers. And I still think that that can apply to a lot of clientele across the board, depending on what you're selling, depending on what you're doing. And so something like this and this lead magnet is really meant to be this source of calming. And I think what I hope is that everyone's lead magnet will be able to do that. It will provide this answer that perhaps that they are looking for, and then see your website, your company, your business as that reliable source that they can come to for information. So in this journey, we would see someone who perhaps has just encountered some deep grief, is looking for some answers as to how to deal with it, realizes that they need some help, maybe isn't like super excited to connect with another person, maybe isn't really excited to buy something quite yet, but just needs that initial tool. And so then this lead magnet really would allow the person to get a brand feel. Do they like your brand? Do they like your voice? Do they like the way that you approach engagement with customers? All of these answers will really be answered with a lead magnet. So I think, while we made it in a rather short amount of time, it's also pretty important because this might be the first touch point of a customer journey. And we want to make sure what is impressed on them is that there's intention, there's care, and that you've put a lot of effort into offering them something that is actually really useful. And so in these questions, we see some moments of reflection, some moments to really take time to consider, the path that they're on currently. And you could create a lead magnet for your business that really allows them to get some answers immediately. And I think that is, there is, of course, like a skill set to that. But like we've said, you can utilize AI, you can look to other demonstrations of the business to see where these questions lie and kind of guide your customer in that way. What do you think, Emily? Does that make sense? Am I on the right path here?
Yeah. I think this does affect everyone, and so I think it's a really cool industry to be breaking into. Like people who help you deal with grief counselors are like most traditionally thought of to be like therapists, right? And who else? Like life coaches, therapists, kind of people, but having someone who's like dedicated to helping you with a specific process of life is really cool. So I think like WordPress and like the whole open source community is like the best place to be doing something like that. So this is awesome.
I'm really excited about it. I mean, something I really like about this aspect of the professional world is that it's really focused on bringing you into the future. And I think oftentimes when we are in grief or perhaps overwhelmed, it's really easy to get caught into the past. So these questions are really designed to allow you to think forward and think about how you want to move into your life. And I think WordPress is really an exciting place to do something like that because it allows for such amazing customer and business interaction. So yeah, we'll get to see the fruit of the efforts at the end of this project. It should be really cool.
Yeah. Oh, totally. As you can see, formatting these lead magnets takes a hot minute, but what we're coming out with is something that people can really use. And we don't see a lot of this side of things when we're watching tutorials online. So hopefully let us know in the comments below if this is helpful to you to see us like actually form an entire lead magnet. But yeah, so how are you, number 5, how are you experiencing your grief in healthy ways? I'm trying to shorten the questions a little bit because space reasons.
They're long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make it a little shorter. And the sizing looks a little funky, but that's okay because we are just looking for something at the inception of our business. We can build resources that are much more professional and robust down the line. Right now, we're just looking to create something that people can get some help from. Let's see, layer, send back. How are you experiencing grief in healthy ways? And then, what's question number 6? What's one legacy your loved one left for you? Maybe 2 lines. So we have plenty of space. And creating a lead magnet out of a product you already have, whether it's a book or whether it's a course or a membership website, you can use the content that you've already created to create good resources. Like I know that a lot of people watching are probably publishing content on a platform like YouTube, or they might be doing webinars or live streams. Those webinars and live streams, even though you already have them publicly available, are great candidates for lead magnets. If you add like a simple description text, or even if you don't add anything at all to your like YouTube video, that's a perfectly good thing you can offer people as an opt-in. A lot of content businesses are all about curation rather than creation. We put a lot of pressure on ourselves to create a lot of content, but what we're really doing is curating the best content for people who are viewing. So yeah, don't put too much pressure on yourself to create something overly complex from the start. How can you use that special light to incorporate? That's a great question. Let's just use the whole question. Let's send my layer to the back. Let's expand it, and then we'll put in this text. I'll crunch it a little bit because we have a dress that's getting in the way. Make the font a little bit smaller, maybe a little bit bigger. Like you see, my text is inconsistent size, but I'm pretty happy with it. How are you feeling, Katie, about how this is coming along?
This looks great. I think it's visually easy to read, and that is really what we're looking for. I don't think it needs to be perfect at this moment. We can always go back and revise. Again, we're just doing this live so we can show you how to work through it, how to create a really nice visual layout, as well as incorporate, 7 questions, just 7 questions, and you're going to create the sales funnel that will engage folks.
Yeah. Let's get some more green colors. So this is a color that is green. Let's move it to a lighter green.
Emily, the artiste comes out.
The artiste. Let's grab this color maybe. That color might be more suitable for white, and honestly probably should be a little bit darker. If we grab maybe the color of the hair, that might be better. And this needs to be changed probably to this color, and then this one could be changed to that color too. Maybe we don't do consistency. Maybe that. I would play with this for a long time. This is like the part of your business where you can really have fun designing like cool little resources for people and putting your personality into the business. So spend as much time on this as you would like. So we have our 7 questions formatted. like we said before, we're going to come back and improve this over time, but this is something we can get started with and get people on our email list. So
Great.
now it's your turn. Things like font consistency, things like color consistency, border thickness consistency, point thickness, all that kind of stuff are things that we do recommend you incorporate into your business at some point in time, but I never recommend letting that get in the way of getting things started. So if you have an idea for a lead magnet, don't put too much perfectionist pressure on yourself. Just make it happen with what you have right now. Have fun with it. If we're not in business for ourselves to have fun, then what are we doing?
I think this is looking pretty good, actually.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. And I'm glad to hear that you're happy with it too. I would probably say, like, what your next steps are. What are your next steps?
Nice.
And we could suggest next steps to the user. We're going to come back and use the CRM with WP Fusion to ask some questions of the learner. Now it's your turn. Let's see. Journal the questions. Now it's your turn. Maybe that is it. That's probably not enough space to journal the questions. But how many boxes? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines. So we're moving in a good direction. We've got our 7 questions. We've got your turn. We've got our description tagged. Our description probably could use a box like this one. Ooh, this. And then let's install this on our website. Layer, send it back.
Great.
Oh, sorry, we're going a little bit over. And I know it is late for you.
Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Arrow. Let's get to arrow. So you come down here. And then go from there to here. Make that a little bit smaller. Maybe even a little bit smaller. I don't know. That looks pretty good for our first draft of a lead magnet. Let's share this to my computer as a PDF. Flatten the PDF, pages 1 to 3. And now we can jump into our WordPress website and deliver this to people in exchange for that email address. So here's our media bin. I think it's still downloading. It's done downloading. We're going to install new media file. We're going to add our PDF. I should probably give my PDF a better name before uploading it, but for the sake of the example, we now have our completed file right here.
And just a note on accessibility features, you know, that right-hand column that we saw when we uploaded the image, making sure that you have descriptors in there and really doing your best to describe even simply what this like lead magnet contains will help SEO optimization and accessibility on your website. So that's a neat trick I actually learned from Emily. And yeah, I just wanted to mention it while we're in this, you know, random area of media. But it could help your SEO rankings rise if you take a moment to fill this out.
Definitely. Alt text on all of your images, descriptions, anywhere you're allowed to put them. That will increase your SEO value for sure. It auto saves. And so now we have this resource. What are we going to do with it? We're going to jump back into our Groundhog funnel. Now, this is going to work with any CRM that you're using. If you're using a third-party CRM like ActiveCampaign, ConvertKit, MailChimp, whatever it might be. If you're using automations, whatever that is. Our free opt-in is incomplete from our last stream, but now we have the final piece to complete it. We apply a tag when people fill out our opt-in form, which is what I showed earlier. On the front end of our website, they're going to fill out the free resource. They are going to, there it is, fill that out, get the tag, and now we can send an email to deliver them the lead magnet we made, but we can also redirect them straight to that lead magnet. So there's 2 ways to deliver lead magnets. One of them is if you want to verify the user's email address, send to their email the link to the PDF. So we would design an email with a link to the PDF or media bin. We would send it to their email. So that way they have to give us a good email in order to see the resource. Or That's a good way to do it. Or for user experience sake, we might want to just redirect them straight to the resource so that they don't have to wait. They don't have to leave our website and go to the inbox. So there's two schools of thought. Is like, do you want to have verified emails on your email list, or do you want a smooth user experience where people do not leave your website, they stay on your website? And so for now, we'll probably do the one where they stay on your website. So we'll redirect them to our resource right here after they submit. Let's update. But yeah, that's something to consider, whether you want to verify the email or have a smooth user experience. And another option that's kind of a mix between the two is to redirect them to like a video that says, hey, thank you for opting in. Thank you for signing up for the grief loss 7 questions. You're probably going through this, and that right now, you know, like a little video. So you're not giving them the resource, but you're giving them a little bit of engagement. So they'd have to go to their email to get the resource, but there's still follow-up engagement. We don't want people to be submitting forms and it says, thank you for submitting, because that's going to leave. That's just going to create a terrible marketing engine. We're not here for that. We are here for smooth marketing. So
Emily, I came up with an email while you were chatting, and I'm going to send it to you now if that works.
Sure.
Cool. Adopted over works for you.
Help me now. And so it takes me right into the lead magnet when I submit that.
Oh, that's
yeah, and then we can install the email that you sent me. I'll jump over to Slack. Slack.com. Go to I have so many Slack workspaces. Cancel, open in browser. You could also do both. You could send people an email and you could redirect them straight to the resource. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So
right. That's smart.
Thank you for downloading. Where are we at here? We're going to add an email, send an email. Send an email. We're going to create a new email. Start from scratch. Our subject line, as you sent me, you're not alone. Hi, first name. Let's copy that into this little text editor. Hi, first name. So Groundhog has their own merge codes feature. First name. Thank you for visiting Holding the Ache and downloading the Grief Guide. I'm honored that you landed here. Your experience matters. Come back when you need. There's no place. Let's reinstall the emojis because they get a little messed up. There's a little pointy hand. Thanks. Okay. If you'd like to go deeper, we offer a virtual session. Not alone. You could book a 30-minute call, schedule your call. Let's link this URL here. Copy that. I'm going to delete this, but we'll put that here. Schedule your call. And that's where we schedule our call. And then below that is this content. Let's jump out and add in the footer content. If you ever have questions, want to share your reflections, or simply witness, hit reply with care, your name. Holding the ache, and then we have another emoji. Oop. Heart, your website URL. Let's
nice.
There we go. So now we have our email formatted. Our preview text is your free gift. And so we'll probably use the GPT later to like optimize our subject lines heavily and optimize our lead magnets. But now we have something serious in place that people can come to our website and download. And so what we're going to talk about on our next stream is how to structure your delight, invite, or nurture pitch sequence, where we give people a free resource. We're going to give them a second free resource. And then third, we're going to invite them to sign up for a product. We're going to invite them to join us for a call. We're going to give them two things, and then we're going to ask them for one thing. There's a lot of concepts when it comes to sales about like investing in the emotional bank, to invest in your audience, and then ask your audience for things. So each individual who interacts with your product, you can't just show up and be like, hey, I'm ready for you to pay me a bunch of money. Please pay me a bunch of money. It's going to be a much easier time with your marketing if you invest in that emotional bank first. You give them some investments from you to them via your automated systems, and then you can ask them for an investment into your brand. So that is a little bit of a longer tutorial, but it gives you kind of an in-depth guide of how to design a lead magnet from scratch. Let us know in the comments what you want to see. Katie, do you have any final words for the people?
No, I just appreciate everyone being on the journey with us and taking time to learn more about how to build your own lead magnet. And next week we'll be back and continuing this sales funnel. That's pretty exciting. And yeah, like Emily said, let us know what you're looking for. Just last week, we did a pre-live tutorial on WooCommerce because we had someone comment on it and we just hopped in and we did it. So, let us know. We're more than happy to problem solve with you and see what we can do to make WP Fusion work for you. Thanks, Emily.
Yeah, thank you everyone for joining too, and we will see you next week.